everyone, it's Crafty Kim62 here, and this is a project for a lace purse, and I'll guide you through the steps that I did. Grab all of your lace and your pretty things with sparkles and trimmings, and have them to hand with all of your other things. So I'm just going to put that to the side of me so I can just grab what I need. The first one, I'll show you that in a moment. The first one that I did, I used one of the organza bags that you can get from any shop, and this was a set of 4 bags, and it was from that shop that you can get really useful things for very little money. The next one, which is the one I'm going to demonstrate, I've used the cotton in a roll that you use for embroidery and things like that, for when you do Rowan-Dean work. And all I've done is use pink and shears and cut off a double length, folded it over, and then I've glued it temporarily down until I did my stitching. I folded over the top and added 2 opposite working straps so that I could tie it at the top once it's done. It may look a mess at the moment, but don't worry about that, because we are going to pretty things up, and it is going to look quite pretty, lacy and shabby chic once it's finished. So I'll just move that to one side. And this is the one that I have done. I'll just put my hand in and then open it up, and you can see where I've used the organza bag. You see my fingers through all of the lace, and then I've laid lots of different types of lace with embellishments all the way up. There's quite a few, and so it gets a nice coverage of lace, different laces, different embellishments all the way around. I've then used part of the long lace, which is this one. This is a silky lace, and I've cut each petal off, and then I've made a flower. Used a doily in the middle with an embellishment, and then 2 lace, a butterfly and a bee on the top. I put some sparkles on the top, and you'll see that the sparkles all the way along, so it gives that added interest. So you can just see them jingle jangling at the bottom. So the first thing that you need to do is to get a good coverage, and your base coverage is, it doesn't matter if your lace doesn't match. I'm using the cream because I want to do a dye technique on this one, so it really doesn't matter what colour your lace is, what colour your embellishments is, because it's all going to change as we go along. So I'm going to start off, that's going to be the bulk, but I'm going to start off just covering. Just take those pins out. Just covering the lace, dropping it down a bit so we can get a hang, and I'm going to do back to back, so I'll do the front first and then the back. So I'm going to do it slightly different to this one, and this one is where I wrapped it round and did hidden seams at the back. So you can't see where I actually did a seam unless you turn it upside down, and you can see the seam from there. So on this one I'm going to do it slightly different. So at the top I'm just going to run, sorry, I forgot a major part. Your old craft mats for your inking and your blending and everything else. Just fold that up into the size of your bag, and that will stop each side from sticking together. So you want to be light-handed in using your glue, so less is more on this project. And another thing, I'm just going to, because as you know, hot glue is very hot and dangerous, so I'm just going to put my little fingers on. Just so I can tap the glue as we go along. So I'll just bring this piece back, and as I say, I want it further down, equal sides. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, spread it along, and then catch the lace into it. Move along, a little glue. You just need to touch the fabric. You don't need a heavy clump of the glue. So I'll just do this end. And I'm just going to turn it over. I'm only doing the tops for the moment because I do want to make it slightly bigger than what you need. Turn that one over so it's the right way. And then line it up again. Blob of glue. Move it along. And then catch it down using your silicone fingers. Right, so I'm quite happy with that. So that front one now is dry. I'm now just going to catch the ends on the seam just at certain points at the top. I'm not going to worry about the bottom just yet. And just use my fingers again. Right, on to the next section. This one is a good filler lace, but I'm just going to leave it like that for the moment. You can see that I'm just building it up. The problem I have is with choice. Everybody will be the same. You'll not know what you want until you actually put it down. So this one has got a false ribbon detail in. So I'm going to put that one on the bottom. Yes, that's the right side, so I'm going to overlay it and then snip it off. How far do I want it? Do I want it hanging below or do I want it hanging on top? I think I want it slightly below. So I'm going to use these points to start. So remember, your fingers, and less glue is more. Just tickle it as you go along. Press it down. So underneath this bottom one, I'm just going to fix it a little bit more. That's why I left that one, because we don't want too much glue adding bulk to the bag. So that is another layer on there, and that one gives it a bit more of a frill. So I'm going to turn it over now. Oops, loose thread. And do the same on that side. So a little bit further, match it. Snip it off. Use that side as a guide. So just a little bit running it along. I'm going to snip that bit off, and this bit, just so it doesn't get in the way. So that's that side done. A little bit there. Done that side. A little bit more there. I went too far up. So the next thing, do I want another layer of this pretty one? Yes, I think I will. So I think I'm going to make this side my back, and I'm going to do a layer at the top where I have sealed the ribbon closure in. So following the fabric glue line that I made, I'm just going to add that and squidge it along. And so that will give the gathers. I'm just going to trim that bit off again. I won't throw these bits away, I'll keep them and use them for something else. So that is going to be my back. Now I did have a little piece of trim that was left over from the other one, but that's too small. I'll use it on something else, but I will put a trim on there to hide it, because I'm going to try and keep the top of this bit completely clear. So that is the back, and I'm quite happy the way that's worked. So I'm going to go to the front now, and I'm going to do another layer of this frill one, not cutting so much off, and overhanging it, but just let the false ribbon show. So smoothing that along. It's nice to have lots of lace in your stash. You can add them to your cards, your journals, your memory books. It's all very pretty and girly. So that's that. I quite like that. So do I need to stick that one down? Yes, just a little bit. And this side. No, that one seems to be fine. So I quite like that. It's coming to shape now. Remember to ignore those bits. That's coming to shape quite nicely. I've got a thinner piece of gathered lace, so I think I will add that. And again, I'm going to let that ribbon show, so I'm just going to do it on the top above the last header of the lace, and just add that on top and work it round. Move that down while it's still hot. Trim that bit off. Just going to add a little piece on here just to keep it nice and neat. So now I think, do I need a one going the opposite way? And then I can put a strip of beads in between. So I'm just going to add that one. So just running the glue along, turning it upside down. And that looks quite pretty. So in my stash, a bit, I do have some lace. Oh, that's quite pretty. There you go. I'm just going to pull this down. I am going to run dots of glue there. Although this is adhesive, just to make it more secure, just to run a bit and then cut it off. With adhesive tape, don't fully cut off the paper that you've used, because then it's easier to take off rather than looking for the end all of the time. So that is that on there. And now the pretty things. Is that the right size? Yes, that's the right size, so I'm going to use this. And what I'll do is, because I know I'm going to be trimming this, I'm just going to put a blob on there and work my way along. And then, silly me, I put it on upside down, so that one filled with glue and dull I'll just trim off. And then using the back of the squares, just put a little dot in the centre of the square so you don't have too much. So I'm just going to hover and place down. Bear with me, that's the doorbell. I'll just pause you.